fun since it wasn't directly part of the show.
Contraption to hold my phone so you can see from above. Please hold. No, it's just a painting easel that I've set up around my
Workstation.
chairs so that there's no like shadow.
Whoa.
Ridiculous. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
That looks all right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So yes, we'll be doing this snow globe and also this wreath today. And so I don't. Does everyone have just one paper or two? It's not a big deal. I don't know.
I have 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're good with the paper.
Okay, well, so I personally like them a little bit smaller. So I have separated my big paper into 4, and I'm just going to do it in just 1/4 of the paper, but you can make it as big or small as you want. All right. So to start, we're just going to draw a circle for the snow globe shape. And I'm just going to trace over a cup or anything round if you want, which is just easier. But you can draw a circle by freehand if you so desire.
No desire here.
And so since you have the whatever you're tracing, you can just do it on another piece of paper because we're going to use the same circular shape for the wreath as well. But if you are doing it on one piece of paper, or both of them on one piece of paper, if you're right-handed, I suggest doing the snow globe on the left hand side, just because we're going to do that one first, and then you don't have to worry about like smudging it with your hand if the paint's still wet. All right. Does everyone have their circles drawn?
Right here.
Okay. Also, I can't actually see the video, so if you do have like a question or anything, like just say something.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. Are we all ready to move on?
Ready to go.
Ready?
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna draw the rest of the snow globe shape. And so it's really just this bottom part, and it's kind of a weird shape, and I tried to come up with like a simpler way to draw it by doing like an oval and then just connecting it, but it kind of looked weird. But that is but I think it could work. You might just, so if you just do like a oval shape, and then you just connect it like this sort of thing, kind of. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe what shape that bottom part is exactly. But I guess it actually turned out pretty good. So that's simple.
I think you should name that shape yourself, Kiana.
Oh, I don't want
It's
to.
yours. It's yours.
Yeah, and then you can just, once you have like the basic shape, then you can kind of fix it and make it look how you want it to. That looks pretty good. And then this one has a little like plaque thing on it, but you can include it. You don't have to. It's up to you. But it's like a nice little spot for you to like write something if you so desire. But yeah, that one just basically like another oval shape. And then we'll just draw like it'll get covered a little bit, but just like the basic line of where you want this ribbon to be, and then you'll be able to see it on the outside. But once we put the paint on on this part, it's kind of hard to see where you drew it before, or this ribbon on there, but just something simple like that. And then you can draw the little hill and like a basic spot where you're gonna put the trees on it. Yeah, I did do another test of this, and so this one, like the trees look pretty straight, and so I did another one, and the trees looked really weird and like diagonal. So if you're kind of worried about that, then just make sure like your trunk line is straight up and down, and that you follow it when you put the paint in later. Those look okay. Okay. I think that's it. Does anybody need any more time to draw?
I'm good.
Good.
Give me 10 seconds.
All right, no worries. I guess for those of you that are done, I guess I should have said this before we started drawing. But for watercolor, you want your drawing lines to be as light as possible. So if you have some lines that are like pretty dark, you can like try to erase a little bit of the lines so that it's just not as dark, but you can still see where your drawing is.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm caught up.
All right. Okay. So is everyone's ready to start with the paint?
I'm
Yeah.
ready.
All right, awesome. Okay, so to start, for pretty much the entire snow globe, so don't worry about covering up where you drew your trees because we're just gonna do that afterwards, and the colors should be able to show up on top of the color that we're gonna be using for the snow globe. So for that, I'm gonna use like a bluish gray color. I don't know what colors everyone has, but I have this like bluey gray that at least my watercolor set calls Payne's gray. And then you want it to be pretty light as well. To be
Okay,
almost,
so I have never done watercolors before. So what are you doing right now? Are you like, so should I have like another surface to like spread it out on?
probably just because otherwise the color will be really pigmented and probably be too dark.
Well, I got some,
Okay.
well, extra paperwork, or should I get like a plate?
Your
So
paint
you-
palette should have a middle part, does it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So just do it there. Okay.
Yeah.
So just wet those paints because they're obviously they're hard. So just get your brush wet them down, and then you can kind of like, because mine are hard too. And so I just get water and I wet it. I don't know if you can see it. I wet it
Yeah.
down and then I go over here and I just start mixing colors, and then I'll add some white and whatever I need. Does that help?
Gotcha. Yes. Got it.
Yeah, so to make it lighter, you'll just use more water than color. So if you want to, you can just test it just to see if it's light enough or dark enough, or if you just like it. This is kind of the color I was going for. And you can even test it probably on like the back of your paper if you don't have extra paper, just to see the color to test it.
Or just rather your printer paper if you're just testing would work too.
Yeah.
But yeah, any kind of paper works.
And then we're just doing the whole snow globe.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a wet on wet, and so we're gonna use just clean water and just put it on the inside of the snow globe everywhere, and then we'll add the color. And don't worry if there's spots that dry out, because you can always just add more water.
Drop off the keys for you. So it should be in there about 15.
And also, if you can't really tell where the water is, if you look at like an angle and you can see like the light reflecting, so that you can see where you have the water.
And you said we're putting water all over the snow globe.
Yeah, just in the circle part.
Okay, perfect.
All right, and then once we have that, we'll go in with the color. And so you do want it to be pretty light, and then we'll add some of like the darker shadows once this is dry. This layer is dry, so that'll be more visible. And if there's a spot where you got too much color and you don't want it, you can always use a clean paper towel and dab, and it'll take out some of the color. Or you can even just use a clean brush and it'll soak up some of the water. But yeah, while it's still wet, if you want to, you can add some of the darker colors where the shadows will be.
Oh, so right now you're adding the snow under the trees.
Yeah,
Okay.
or I'm just trying to kind of show a little bit more where the hill is, just for like me, so I kind of see where the line is a little bit.
Okay.
But once you like how it looks, then we'll move on to something else while we wait for that to dry.
Green.
Or if everyone has like a hair dryer
Handy,
handy, we can always use that to quicken up the drying process, but it's not necessary.
Say, I have one if other people have one.
Are we painting right on top of this right now? Like, does it need to be dry, or are we moving on to?
We can do like some stuff down like this, some stuff down here while we wait for it. But I guess is everyone done with like the globe part?
10 more seconds.
Okay, yeah, no worries. No rush. I mean, we have to wait for the top part to be fully dry before we can like really do anything else up there, so it's not a problem. Mine's pretty wet right in this corner anyway, so.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I guess while we wait for the globe part to dry, we can paint in the little plaque part. So I'm just
doing
gonna
the
use, yeah, like a gold color, maybe even like a little bit of brown in there, just so it's not super bright, but I mean, whatever color you guys want to make it, it's your painting, so you can decide. So yeah, I'm using this kind of like mustardy looking color, yellow color. And that one we're just gonna paint right on the dry paper, so we're not gonna do a wet on wet like we did on the snow globe part.
And is there a reason that you did wet on dry for the plaque?
No.
Like, did it just make it bolder, or?
I do not have a answer to that. I just didn't think it was necessary really to use the wet on wet.
Okay.
I don't really have a strong knowledge of watercolor technique though. So I'm
Well,
not
I still don't know like the when to use wet on wet and when to use wet on dry. Like I still am trying to figure it out. So I didn't know if there was a particular reason or if it's just like.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. Okay.
So like the water first, and you add some watercolor.
So is everyone done with the globe part and the plaque part?
Yes.
Okay. Mainly because I was debating whether or not to like blow dry this one so we can just focus on the one, or wait for it to dry and work on the other one. But I feel like that might be a little confusing. So I guess if everyone does have access to a blow dryer, because at least my globe is still wet. So is everyone else's still wet, or are yours dry?
I'm still a little damp. But I don't mind working on the wreath too. Like I don't mind switching between the both of them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If
Okay, well,
anybody else.
if anyone is not comfortable with doing that, we don't have to, but I just didn't know if it would like, I don't know. But if everyone is okay with working on the wreath while we wait for the snow globe to dry, we can do that.
What do you think, Allie?
I think we're running with the wolves.
I mean, if anyone has like a strong preference one way or the other.
No, let's do the wreath and then we'll go back to
Okay.
the globe.
Cool. All right. So this is the wreath I made the other day. And I've come to realize that like the first time I work on something, it always turns out the best, and I try and duplicate it. Like somehow just always looks worse. But anyway, so we'll see how this one turns out. Just move this for right now. So this one I used like a different variety of leaves, but you don't have to. You can just use one if you so desire. So I'll just do like a little demo of the type of leaves and branches I did on this one. I guess I can show you some other tester ones I did that I didn't like as much. So
Okay, and then I want to see
one.
that snowman that you did. That one that you
Oh.
passed.
I did a lot of different practices to see what I would teach.
That looks so cool.
I'm glad we're not doing that one. That one looks too complicated for me.
Well, the snowman was like a separate thing from the background. I was just trying something and I didn't necessarily like how it turned out, so I just decided on something else.
I love that one. That's cute. But yes, it looks a lot more complicated.
So there's this one that has like 4 different type of foliage, leaves, and like this stick and berries. There's this one that I tried to do mainly like the pine kind of leaves, which I don't know. It turned out fine. And then I just like added some more things later to see if it would look better. I don't know if it really did. And then there's this one that kind of is similar to this one. It just looks more sparse. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll just go through the type of leaves and stuff that I used in.
And real
this
quick,
week.
Kiana, could you
Yes.
hold your example up a little bit closer just for like 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I thought that like my setup would make it too small to see on like the table, but there was like no real way to make it closer.
That's good.
Oh,
I
no,
just
it
need
works
an
great, like,
idea.
when you're
so that looks
teaching.
good. Yes. Yeah, it looks good. It was just like for this, I was like, I want to see a little more detail because I'm
Yeah.
gonna copy everything you're doing. So
Okay, so I used like a darker green and then so like 2 different shades of green. They're both like darker greens, but this one is a little bit lighter.
So we're just practicing the different leaves, right?
Yeah, or I was just
Oh.
gonna show you like an example of them before we did the wreath. But you can practice if you want to do that. That's
that
not
would
a
be
problem.
perfect.
Yeah, actually might. Yeah, that would work really well. Yeah, and then also just some red for like the little berries too, and I guess a brown too. Want to include branches, but you don't have to.
Well, in the picture you took on the group me, that one's a good one to look at. Like it's a nice close-up one.
Yeah, that's this one. Yeah, just a closer.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so I'll start with the pine leaves. And so all I do is just draw a line of where you want it to be on the wreath, and then I just draw lines out and a little bit curved outward, like that. If everyone can see that. And so yeah, on the wreath, I like some of them overlap a little bit, but they don't have to. Yeah, and just the I guess the darkness of the green just depends on how much paint you have on your brush.
And did you do just one type of leaf like around and then you went second time and did the other leaves, or did you work around in a circle filling it in? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, I worked around in a circle. But I mean, you can totally plan like where you want things ahead of time. Cause like for this, I really like the pine leaves, but I kind of wanted it 4 times, but this one only has 3. So like if I actually planned it out, I probably could fit 4. But it's like all personal preference. Yeah, so I'll just do this one again. It was just a line and then the little pine.
Real sucks.
Okay, and then the next one I can show you guys is like the holly leaves, and I think they're kind of hard, and so or
Oh, good.
sometimes just like to make them look good. So it's like a little semicircle kind of shape, and you just that's like 1 point of the, so that's like the end of it. And this is just like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and then that's like the top. And then you just repeat that on the other side.
Oh, God.
And then just fill it in.
Okay.
This one, this one actually looks really good, but like some of them just, yeah, look weird. I think like at least in like pictures online that I looked at, they typically have like the 3 points on the sides, but like this one I did just 2, and I think it looks fine. So I think
All leaves are created
You did-
differently.
yeah, 2 to 3 work all right. I can do that one again. So just like,
For some reason, I keep getting like one side with 3 points and the other side with 2 points.
Oh, same. That's one I just did. I was
Yeah.
like, well, how did that happen?
yeah, when I was doing them, I like did one side and then I would do another side, and I'm like, I think that's the same number of points, but I don't know. I like have to look at it more clearly.
That turned out good.
And then for along with the holly, if you grab some red, it's really easy just to do the little berries because they're just usually like 3 in a little bundle. Okay, and then this next one, it's not necessarily Christmassy, but I think it still looks fine in there. So it's similar to the pine ones where you'll just do like the stem, I guess, and then I just do leaves, like I flatten my brush so it gets bigger, and then I lift it up. I don't know if that's hard
That
to
looks
see.
fun.
So I just flatten and then lift up, and then they look okay. Or I mean, even to make it simpler, you can just do little leaves like that, where they're just like a half of a heart kind of shape, like that. Here, I'll show again. Here's the stem. And then you just push down with your brush so it's a little bigger, and lift up towards the end so that you have like a little, so that it gets smaller. No, that one didn't have
That'd be cool. Mhm. Must be cool.
And then the branches are pretty straightforward. They're just like this, and then you can do as many little runoffs as you want. And then these ones I put more of like the bigger berries compared to the little holly berries. So. But yeah, it's pretty much, those are the types of leaves and stuff that I used on this one. But you can do all of these pine ones or all of any one, and it should look fine too. But yeah, but like once you go around, I mean, it might work better if you go around fully once. Because then like once you like go around the whole way, then you can kind of see if there's like any empty spots, then you can like add some stuff. Just to make it look more full. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I'm just making this circle that I traced a little bit lighter. Even though you pretty much go over it with the different leaves and stuff, but just a little bit lighter in some areas. Well, I guess like at least my snow globe is now dry. Is everyone's else's still wet, or are they dry now too?
Mine's dry.
Okay, because
Yes.
I know we just went through the whole thing of what the different wreath leaves are, but maybe we'll switch back to the snow globe really quick and then we'll come back to the wreath.
That is great.
Sounds good.
Just because we'll have to wait for it to dry again. Okay. Sorry for all the back and forth.
I like it. It's good planning.
Okay. So next,
Never seen here.
what we can do
Never seen these.
is we'll probably, I guess we can do this bottom part of the snow globe first. And I didn't do a wet on this one, and I think it looks fine. I don't know. It's just easier. So I just
So then did you just go back after and do the shading while it was wet?
Yeah.
Or
yeah. So
Okay.
or no, when it was dry.
when it was dry? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just any color brown that you like. That's what we'll use. But obviously don't make it be too dark of a brown because then it's a little bit more hard or more difficult to add the shadows.
This is mustard candle. How do you make it on there? Okay. Ooh, orange. It's mustard. Okay, and stop. How do I make this browner? What do I need to do? And then, wait.
Does anyone still need time to fill that one in?
I'm good.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So next we'll make the shadow on the snow globe. So the like gray blue color that you used for the background, we're just going to use that color, but just with less water so that it's a darker shade. And so we'll just go on this edge a little bit. Oh, I should have said something before. If your bottom part is still really wet, I would wait to do this part last. Sorry. But I guess, I mean, that's what happened when I did this one. But I mean, it's not a big deal, but if you really don't want that, then sorry, I probably should have told you to do that. And so then I'm just gonna clean my brush and just have it with a little bit of water. And then I'm just gonna soften this line a little bit so it's not as harsh.
Oh, it was one of these. Shoot.
And over along this right side as well.
Okay, she's doing the other side now.
And then I'm just gonna do that same thing where I'm just gonna soften it a little bit. So to do that, you just go along the edge of it, and then you can see it a little bit happening where it gets a little fuzzy. That's what you want. But you don't want too much water on your brush either.
Really?
Does anybody need more time on the shadows on the snow globe?
Shadow.
Just a little bit more.
Okay.
That is what I don't know.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. So next we'll just do the shadows on the bottom part. So you just want to get that brown you used earlier, but just with less water, so it's a little bit darker. And we'll do it on the top right, underneath the snow globe part. And then just soften that one. There you are. And then we'll do the shadow also underneath the plaque.
Shadow here.
Debajo.
¿Con qué color?
Casi nada. Un chiquito de cualquier color.
And then just soften that one as well.
Kiana, can you say something so the camera can switch?
Yeah. So once everyone is done with all their shadows, the next thing that we'll move on to is the trees. So I guess, does anyone still need more time for the shadows?
Nope.
Should be good.
Just
Okay.
looking down.
So the trees, pretty straightforward. Just get some green. And then I'm gonna do like the leaf part of the trees first and then add the trunk in after. So it might be easier to start with the middle one, just so you kind of know where you're centering the trees around. And so all I do for this is just do downstrokes like this. And I guess just remember and keep in mind that these type of trees are smaller at the top and then get a little bit wider towards the bottom. That's pretty good. And yeah, you can make them as wide or as skinny as you want. So that one looks good to me. And then I'll do this smaller one. And it's okay if they kind of overlap each other a little bit. Then once you have your trees in there, then you can just use any color brown and then just draw on the trunks. And then we can draw, put in the shadows for the trees. And that's just going to be the same darker color we used for the shadow on the snow globe. And it's just going to be like a little semicircle kind of shape. We're just gonna wait a little bit for the trees to dry. But I guess while we wait for that, we can do the ribbon. Do I need low down for anyone? Are we okay?
My brown is still wet.
Oh, for the bottom part?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that is not a problem. We can wait.
Okay.
Oh, so yours is okay. Yours is really good. Yeah. My brown got too close to my wet green, and now it looks like there was an accident. There was a poor little animal that had a bit of an accident.
Oh my god.
What does Bob Ross say? Just make it a nice little squirrel or something?
Mm,
Just make it a nice little squirrel accident.
poor little accident.
Is everyone's trees dry or are they still pretty wet?
Mine's still pretty wet.
No matter what.
Okay. Then maybe we'll switch back to the wreath.
I'm all about that.
Perfect.
I'm a tree maker.
Okay. Does anybody want me to go over the leaves again?
I think I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well then I guess you can just start on your wreath and I mean you can follow along with what I'm gonna do, but you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. All right. And a tip for when making your wreath, it's easier if you turn the paper once you get to some points. So, and just, I guess if your snow globe is still wet, just be aware of where your arm is compared to that.
Spoken from experience.
Yes, but yeah. Nothing too bad, but just, yeah. All right. I guess it doesn't really matter where you start on it. So.
Looking it up.
Away from the circle.
Está haciendo along the circle. So no tiene que hacer encima. Eso no te
And I usually just go in like a pattern, so, or kind of a pattern, but all up to you.
Just a pattern you repeat over and over.
Yeah. So now that I've gone all the way around, I'm just gonna go and add some little berries and holly and little in spaces that like seem a little bit open. So probably like somewhere around here, and maybe here, and even like some around here.
Wait, I forgot about those.
Brown, 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 brown.
You can also just put the 3 little berries different places without putting the leaves too, if you want. That works too.
Eran las fiestas. Jeez, de la mano. Eso. Mira. Ajá. Híjole, como que con el brazo por accidente lo. ¿Cómo lo veo?
Yeah, no, we got a question. How what's the question? How do you erase something that you don't want to be there?
Yeah, Kiana, how do you do that?
That's a great question. I don't know.
You have to have that special eraser Kiana has.
With the paint, I mean, you can maybe pick it up if it's still wet, like with your paper towel. But I would dab it, not like wipe it. But if it's already dry, then you can't really erase it.
So I'm gonna
Or
put a
at
big
least
bow.
I don't know how to.
I think that's where it's gonna go. We're gonna put a big bow there. ¿Tú quieres Wow. Hello. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Dang, you know it. Okay. I'm always finding that my paintbrush has too much water.
Are too wet, and that's why. And then I went like that, and
Oh, my trees look like antlers. That's okay, right?
Oh, yeah. Happy
That's
tree.
great.
Yeah.
Festive.
Put the berries a little better.
Okay. I'm gonna stop because I feel like I just keep adding things and it's doesn't need it. So
I need to continue because I don't have enough. No, why do I always have so much water? I know.
all right. I
No,
guess is everyone still working on their reads or is everyone done?
I'm not even finished around my circle, so we're still,
Okay.
we're still going here.
Big circle.
Yeah, I guess I forgot that I was doing such a small one and not everyone will probably be doing it this small, so that makes sense.
I think it looks pretty.
Maybe you look pretty.
Mine, I got too red. I need to add more green stuff. So here I go.
Anna, can you say something?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess if you guys want to, I mean, I don't know what time you wanted to end. But we just have like the finishing details on the snow globe. So maybe if we switch back to that one and just finish it up, then you guys can keep working on your reads and or do you want to
That sounds
finish your
great.
read?
That's perfect. I just finished my wreath, so
Okay. Ooh.
simple.
All right, so we just have a few little details left on the snow globe, which is just the little ribbon, and then a few details on the trees, and then if you so desire, you can put like little, I guess I can show it closer, like little
Oh wow, I didn't even
footprints in
notice.
the snow, and then just like the little snow within the snow globe.
Cool.
So I guess we'll start with the trees. It's really simple. We're just gonna get some like the green you use for the tree, but just a little bit darker. And then it's just, I guess I can show you them. We're just gonna do like little scallop shapes like that on it.
Just harder, darker. Oh my gosh.
I might wait a little bit for that to dry before doing the ornaments on the trees. But if you don't want the ornaments, you don't have to put them. And then so I guess next we'll do bin. And I guess you don't have to do it red if you don't want to. You can probably do it whatever color you want. Same with the ornaments. But I mean, I guess if you do the same color ribbon and the same color ornaments, that would look cute. Just get some more red. So you're definitely going to want to use a smaller brush for this. And also be aware of how wet your wreath is just when you're going to draw this line. And I can't really see where I drew my line with the pencil. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You just kind of follow the curve of the snow globe. And obviously it doesn't have to be exactly straight. Mine's a little wiggly. That's okay. And then we'll just do the ribbon on the end. And if you can't really see the ribbon on the snow globe, you can always go over it again if it's dried. Then it'll be hopefully darker and you'll be able to see it better. Like I feel like this second time I went over it, it looks so much better already. Okay. If you're well, I guess you can do the ornaments on your trees. Just be careful if your scalloped little details are still wet, so that you don't touch them with the red or the color you're going to do the ornaments. So pretty much you can just put ornaments wherever you want on your little trees.
smells good though.
Nice.
It's like, smells like I look, I was in San Francisco somewhere.
And
Maybe
so
I'll
once
learn.
you're done with that, then we'll just do like the little snow within the snow globe that's being shaken. So you're gonna want to use, I have two colors in here, but you don't have to. One is just like a really light version of this blue gray that we used on the rest of the snow globe. And then the other color is like a really pale pink. So if you just get like some red, you really just use more water than actual red. Here, we'll show you. Oh, that's like really light. Okay. So like almost like this kind of color. Very light pink. And then this blue gray color. And so there's two different ways that we can put the snow. So you can either do like little snowflake shapes. I don't know if you can see that. But here, I'll do it with a darker color because otherwise it's like way too light. So you can do it with like this, these kind of shapes, or just little dots. Or if you really want to, you can just get the color on your brush. And then you just like tap it on your finger and it should just make little speckles. But you can do all three. It's up to you.
Oh, blanco.
Millie, I've been wanting to ask all night, is that your Christmas tree?
Yep. Look at our little Christmas tree, and then it has one ornament on it.
Aw,
Look at that.
that's a cute ornament.
Thanks. And we have others, but we just haven't found them. So they're somewhere around here.
It's a legitimate reason not to have them on.
How did I get orange?
Okay, but I think I'm gonna head out because I still have to get some stuff done before I go to bed. But I'm still working. I need to figure out this shading thing, Kiana, because that was the struggle for me tonight. But I'm gonna show y'all my
Okay.
work because I'm actually pretty proud of myself for not being a painter.
Oh, that looks so good.
Oh,
I like the holly leaves.
Thanks. I was actually pretty proud of myself because I'm not an artist. So thank you.
Nothing to know of.
But yeah, look at this struggle, guys.
I like.
It wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
No.
But there was a struggle. So I'll just have to keep, but I'm gonna keep this somewhere.
Love it.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Yay.
everybody. Thanks, Kiana.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Emily.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Oh, okay.
And you can also like write something on the little plaque or in the middle of your wreath if you so desire. Something festive. Oh, where was that one? I made another wreath and I wrote something inside it. And I'll show, I have to find it. Yes, here wrote Merry Christmas.
Oh, I like the way you wrote Mary.
Shut the front door. That's beautiful. How do you write like that?
I just use like the brush pens. And that helps with like the
Okay.
thicker lines. But you could always just make them yourself, I think, if you just, let me see. Let me find a pen.
Can you show it one more time? My friend didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Thanks.
I know. Who writes like that? Kiana writes like that.
Yeah. I mean, so if you would like to write like that, I wrote it out in pencil first, and that made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now is pencil. There's no way I can write like that without pencil.
Yeah, no. That's a lot of spacing too. Maybe I'll get a different piece of paper. I'll just use the back of this one. So here's my attempts earlier and my very diagonal trees. But I guess I can do it on this one.
I think you're good.
I don't know how to ever make that end. So this is actually one of the brush pens that you just like push down harder, thicker. But you could always just do regular, and then you always make it just a thicker thing and fill it in.
See, I have a brush like that, but it's way too fat or something. Like it's huge. Like I can't go any smaller than like that. So I need a smaller one, like whatever you have, Kiana. I like that.
Oh, this is a pen. I'm not using a brush.
But it's a pen
Yeah,
brush,
it would be.
right?
But it's a pen.
Yeah,
that-
this.
What is the pen you're using? Do you mind?
No, it's the Tombow. I don't know what it's called. It's like Fuden something. I can post it in the groupie.
That would be awesome.
But it comes in like a set of 2 and it has like the hard tip and the softer tip.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll look up what it's called.
Is it this one?
Yeah, the Fuda no Suki or something. Yeah. But there's like a million different brush pens, so
Hello?
but yeah, you can write a bunch of different things. Merry Christmas. Joy to the world. Other Christmassy things. Yeah.
I wrote it in pencil and then I definitely did not. I totally missed it with my marker. It's okay. A with character.
How'd yours turn out?
Is it just me and you?
So,
Oh, all 100 too.
my, well, Ari's taking a work call, my friend, but my snow globe had a bit of a massacre happen to it. It's kind of got a lot of.
Oh, I love the color you put in the trees.
I think it looks great.
Was that intentional or were those balls that just blended? Because they look awesome.
No, I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but like when
The splatter?
the splatter, and it ended up that I still had red on my brush. So there's red like all over everything.
I like the way it looks. It looks just like lots of tones. I love it. I'll show you mine just a second.
My
I'm
wreath
trying to-
kind of okay.
Oh, I like that wreath.
Yeah.
That turned out really good.
Not too bad. There's some like berry leaf combos. But oh, that looks interesting.
Very nice. All right, there's my snow globe.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness.
I went crazy with the splatters.
I
They're
like
big.
your bow. That looks really good.
I tried to do and yeah, I messed up a little bit, but tried to do a little different. And then my wreath. I like the way it turned out.
Nice.
But
So do
Very
y'all
cool.
like practice calligraphy on the side or something? Like, is this what's going on?
I want to. I wish I knew how. No, I just did the
I
like
want to
do
too.
it.
I like buy all the stuff, but I probably suck. So
Okay, we should have
I
a
don't
lettering night
practice it.
because I
That
wish
would
I
be
knew how to
fun.
letter. That would be nice. I just do it where you
I
like
mean,
do it
I
and then
can
you like draw it in.
Yeah. I can like kind of do it with like the brush pens, but I feel like I'm too like rigid about how I do stuff that it has to be more loose and I just like cannot give up that control.
Well, I'm getting some brush pens for Christmas, so I want to learn how.
What kind?
I don't know. My friend got them for me. I didn't look at them,
Exciting.
so we'll see. Hopefully,
That's some restraint.
yeah. I don't know what they are.
Yes,
But-
I bought some for myself for Christmas.
Good.
So
All right. Well, I'd be down for a lettering night because yeah, I've downloaded all these like practice worksheets, and I'm like, okay, I wanna
yeah,
figure this out. I want to be better, so I can just like write it.
I've
We
done
shall
that
see.
too.
Good. We're in the same boat. Well, thank you, Kiana. You're very good at
Yeah,
instructing,
no problem.
and your setup was
So hopefully
perfect.
it was okay. Oh, thanks.
It was great. I loved it. I am taking off, but thank you, thank you.